What if I told you the world's fastest growing cookie brand was started by two guys with no baking experience, no culinary degree, and no plan other than this? Let's bake one cookie, just one, and make it perfect. That idea of small, simple, and sweet became Crumbl, a billion-dollar brand built on sugar, data, and the power of TikTok. This is the story of how two cousins from Utah baked their way into business history and maybe built the first cookie empire of the 21st century. Please do subscribe to our channel before we move ahead. Sawyer Hemsley was still in school. Jason McGowan had worked in tech. Neither had a clue how to bake, but what they lacked in skill, they made up for it with will. Their big break came in Logan, Utah. They found a small store set for demolition. Most would pass on it, but they said yes with no recipe and no business plan. They didn't dream of world fame, then just a warm cookie that felt like home. Just a dream and a belief that they could learn by doing. They bought gear, they locked in the spot, then they asked, okay, now what do we bake? They started with just one goal: make a delicious cookie. Not a good one, not just good enough, the best. But before they could even begin, a challenge showed up at their door. A nearby competitor caught wind of their plan and rushed to launch their bakery 1 week earlier. Suddenly, the clock was ticking. With no formal baking background, they had to work fast. Jason, who had come from the tech world, remembered a concept from product testing called A/B testing. In tech, it's a method where you change just one variable and compare the two versions to see which works better. Jason figured if it could work for software, maybe it could work for cookies too. So they started baking side-by-side batches, one with a different butter, one with a new flour. Then they take both to random people at gas stations and ask which cookie tasted better. They tracked every answer, took notes, and kept testing. Day after day, night after night, they tweaked ingredients, adjust timing, and scrapped bad batches. For 5 long months, they ran their cookie experiments with no guarantee of success, but eventually something clicked. They landed on a cookie that felt right: pillowy soft, sweet, warm, and huge. The kind of cookie you don't forget. That was only part of the challenge though. With no investors to back them, the startup funds came straight from Jason. He put $68,000 of his own savings. That allowed them to secure their first location in Logan, Utah for just $800 a month, a space they found inside a building set for demolition. It wasn't glamorous, but it was theirs. They had their shop, they had the dough, but now came the tough call. What kind of chip would go into their one and only cookie? Jason wanted to go with the semi-sweet chocolate. Sawyer was dead set on milk chocolate. The debate turned into heated arguments between the cousins. They couldn't settle it themselves, so they turned to Twitter. They posted a poll and asked their followers to vote. In the end, 70% chose milk chocolate. Jason gave in, and the milk chocolate chip became the official launch cookie of Crumbl. When they opened their doors in 2017, they sold just one thing: that milk chocolate chip cookie. But that was all it took. Word started to spread across Logan. People lined up to try it. Some came from out of town just to see what the buzz was about. Photos started showing up on Instagram. The feedback was instant and loud. The line came out the door, McGowan said later, and from that point on, it was kind of crazy ever since. At first, the two cousins did everything on their own. They baked the cookies, packed the boxes, cleaned the trays, and ran around serving customers. Every dollar they made, they saved. Not to spend, but to put right back into the business. That's what the startup world calls bootstrapping, building a company with no outside help, no investors, and no big safety net. Their plan was to bootstrap their way up, and for a while, it worked. As more people heard about the shop, more people showed up. That gave them just enough momentum to hire their first few employees. With help in the kitchen and behind the counter, they were finally able to expand the menu. Alongside the original milk chocolate chip cookie, they introduced new flavors, including one that would become a Crumbl classic: the chilled pink sugar cookie. But even with a bigger team and more cookie choices, they still couldn't keep up. The lines outside the shop grew longer each week. Customers would wait for hours, only to find that the cookies had sold out by the time they got to the front. Some left frustrated, others complained, and though the buzz was strong, the backlash started to build. People were excited to try Crumbl, but not at the cost of waiting and walking away empty-handed. The founders knew they needed to fix it fast. If they couldn't find a better way to meet demand, they risked losing the very people who helped them grow in the first place. It was time for a new idea, one that would flip the story and turn their supply problem into a signature strength. To fix the problem, they didn't just make more cookies. They made fewer kinds, but in a smarter way. That's how Crumbl's now famous rotating menu was born. Instead of offering every flavor every day, they came up with a system. Each week would feature a new lineup of just 6 flavors. They'd announce the flavors every Sunday, building anticipation across social media. That one simple move turned their supply issue into a marketing goldmine. Now, instead of customers being upset about missing out, they were hooked by the idea that flavors came and went. People started lining up not just to buy the cookies, but to try them before they disappeared. The menu reset every week, which means that there was always something new to post, share, and taste. Suddenly, Crumbl wasn't just a bakery, it was an event. This move sparked FOMO. You miss a week, you miss a taste. So folks race in, post it, share it, rate it. It's like a drop from Nike, but with snacks. This plan does 2 things. It brings folks back, and it fuels the Crumbl craze on social media. It's smart, it's fun, and it makes each week feel like an event. Now, Sawyer didn't believe in old school ads. No radio, no TV, no billboards. He thought that the best way to spread the word was through phones, not flyers. So he leaned into social media. The goal was simple: make the cookies look so good that people had to share them. They filmed close-ups, slow pulls, cookie breaks, and icing swirls. It was eye candy. And it worked. The cool look of the cookies caught on fast with Gen Z and young adults. People didn't just eat them, they posted them. A Crumbl cookie on your Instagram story became a low-key flex. It showed that you were in the loop, that you had taste. The cookies hit that sweet spot between food and fashion. You didn't just bite into a cookie, you bit into a trend. And once people tried one, they came back to try the next week's batch too. In 2018, Sawyer Hemsley and his college friends came up with the bold idea that would push Crumbl's brand even further: the now iconic pink box. Designed at Utah State University, this 4-pack box wasn't just packaging, it was part of the experience. Sleek, bright, and Instagram ready, the box helped turn a cookie into a moment. When customers snapped photos of their Crumbl treats, the pink box stood out in every post. It became a visual trademark, easy to spot on any feed. This small design change had a big impact. Crumbl's brand exploded online. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube lit up with Crumbl content. People loved the look, the flavors, and the experience. And it didn't just stay online. Demand in real life caught up fast, with social media fueling the fire. Crumbl opened up more than 100 locations across the US, all before hitting their 3rd birthday. Later in 2020, when the pandemic started to hit every business, Crumbl didn't crumble due to their amazing marketing strategies and their tech edge. From the start, they had an app. Fans could buy, track, and pick their mix with just a few taps. This tech-first plan lets them move fast. They could see what was sold, they could test new tastes, and they made it all smooth for the fans. In truth, Crumbl feels more like a tech firm rather than a bake shop. It was fast, clean, and smart with data. As folks say, part cookie shop, part Silicon Valley startup. After the pandemic, they introduced more cool stuff. They turned Crumbl's shop floor into a show where people could see dough and cookies getting baked. This open bake style builds trust. You know it's fresh, you see the care, and for many, it's part of the thrill. It's not just a store, it's a live feed of warm dough made with love. And for content, it's gold. Shots of hot trays, big scoops, and boxed cookies light up the feed every day. Due to all these strategies, they blew up. In 2017, 1 store. By 2024, over 1,000 US stores, and sales of more than 1 billion USD. How? A wild mix of smart moves, hype drops, social buzz, a sharp app, and most of all, fans. Lots of fans. They didn't just grow, they surged. One of the fastest food chains in US history. A case study in what can happen when tech, trends, and sweet treats collide. Of course, with fame comes the heat though. Some say that the cookies are too big, too sweet, too pricey. Then there are the memes, jokes, and rants. They've also gotten bad reviews, delivery issues, labor violations, and some harsh press, which sparked a storm of backlash, forcing store closures and shaking their brand image. But instead of folding, they fought back. A bold rebrand, a move into new products like the Cinnamon Square, and star-studded partnerships gave them a comeback. Now, Crumbl knows what to do. They fix what needs to be fixed. Now they joke back, drop memes, and fans? They don't leave. If anything, the noise made Crumbl more known. That's the twist. The hate made them hot. You don't get this big without some pushback after all. So, what's next? Easy. The world. They're in the UAE now, but more spots will come. The dream? To be the first true global cookie brand. Think of it. Pink boxes in Paris. TikTok drops in Tokyo. Apps pinging in Sydney. Could Crumbl be the Starbucks of sweets? Well, that's the bet. And if their past is any hint, they might just pull it off. From two guys with no clue how to bake, to a chain with tech, taste, and trend on its side, Crumbl didn't just sell cookies. They sold fun, they sold hype, and they turned sugar into a billion-dollar brand. So the next time you see that pink box, just know it's more than a snack. It's a sign of what smart, bold brands can do when they mix old-school charm with new-age fire. Is Crumbl building the world's first cookie empire? Only time will tell. But for now, they're the kings of the cookie world. So what's your Crumbl moment? Do leave a comment. Hope you enjoyed the video, and do like the video and subscribe to our channel. And we'll see you all in the next episode.